Hi guys, this is Get Real with Rio. We're here in a community gym in Australia, in Sydney. I'm here with Mr. Pat Cummins, the captain of the Australian cricket team. How you doing, man?
Good, mate. Yeah.
You alright? Good to see you.
Sydney.
Listen, I was out having coffees at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were just talking before we came on. Coffee shops in England aren't even open at that time, let alone getting one. It's crazy.
Mate, Bondi is ridiculous. You get down there at 6:30, you're like the last person down there.
I couldn't believe it, man. There was bodies everywhere. I was actually queuing for a coffee at 6 a.m. I couldn't get my head around it. It's crazy. I never knew coffee was such a big thing.
Yeah, especially Melbourne and Sydney, big. Like, there's a cafe on every corner here.
Well, listen, I'm here obviously for We Are Right. You have a partnership now, a collaboration with We Are Right through Cricket for Climate. Tell us what that's all about.
Yeah, Cricket for Climate I started, about 2 years ago. And really the initial idea was put solar panels on my cricket club that I grew up playing with. It's out at Howell Oval in Penrith. And for a couple of reasons. One, to reduce their kind of carbon footprint, spark a few conversations around the kind of community, but more so, as much as anything else, trying to save a bit of cash for the club. Now they spend, I think it's going to save them $3 to $4 grand a year on electricity bills. Wow. And from there it's kind of grown. We've now done 10 clubs around Sydney, around New South Wales, and yeah, got some pretty big ambitions. There's 4,000 cricket clubs in Australia. We'd love to get solar panels on all of them.
And your aim is to get 4,000?
Yeah, that's it. That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
So that's an ambition, and even wider, like worldwide cricket. You know, that's only in Australia. We'd love to go overseas, India, England. There's so much scope for making a change in those places. So yeah, we can't wait.
There's someone in your position with the leverage and the scope that you've got and the influence that you can have. You could have chose so many different initiatives. What made you choose something around climate? Obviously, the climate is a big thing we need to help. But yeah, what made you go to that way? Yeah,
there's a few reasons. Purely talking about sport, I love sport. Cricket's really climate dependent. Like if it's too hot, it's unbearable out there. You know, we play in summer. If there's like a little bit of rain, you can't play. So, you know, in the last few years, we've had lots of unseasonal rain, some missed full days, full games of cricket. Bushfire smoke has affected games. It's been flooding around Australia, so whole cricket seasons have not happened for some communities. So I think through sport, it does really affect it, and it's a good talking point. And then, probably even more importantly, you know, the future. I've got one boy. I know you've got a few kids as well, but think about his future and think about his schooling and his friends and
being able to go in the sea, walk in the woodlands.
That's it. Like you saw this morning, Bondi. We're such an outdoors kind of culture here in Australia. Try and do my little bit to, you know, hopefully normalise the conversation, make a bit of a difference for. Hopefully make his future a bit better. If
Cricket for Climate could be known for one thing and one thing only, what would that be to you?
One thing's tough. I always say, there's so much room for normalising the conversation and talking about it and trying to encourage people to do it. But I'd love to be known for making a real tangible difference. You know, those cricket clubs, you're saving, burning fossil fuels to power. Those cricket clubs, you're saving money. I'd love to sit back in 10, 20 years and just show the huge impact we've made.
Oh, good. You just mentioned your 18-month-old son. What's changed about you since becoming a dad? Because I've got 4 kids, one on the way, which will make it a 5-a-side team. And responsibility was a big thing for me. Having a sense of responsibility and the person that's going to be looked up to by my kids, that really hit home for me when my first one came, and then obviously impacted even more with the others. What's impacted you since having a kid?
Yeah, I think exactly as you said, kind of looking at him and, all my mates who have had kids kind of say once I get a little bit older, all the tough questions start coming. So, one day he's probably, going to ask, what difference have you tried to make? And I want to be able to say that I have, at least tried. He's changed a lot. In the last couple of years, you just embrace every day more. Like, he's changing every single day. You don't want to miss a minute. So I'm really precious with my time now.
Oh, good. And obviously touching on family, unfortunately we've both kind of been on the receiving end of tragedy in our life with our mums unfortunately passing away, and condolences to yourself. Obviously it's a tough time, and I'm really interested to find out how you're dealing with such a tough time in your life. I found talking to people and talking openly in public forums and public spaces really kind of cathartic for myself. It really helped me in that sense. Where are you with that?
Yeah, I'm part of a big family, so I'm one of 5 kids. We're playing five-a-side. So I think it's still pretty raw at the moment, but the last few months, been able to, luckily enough, spend loads of time, with mum, the last couple of months as well, but us kids and dad, and just sharing all those memories, I think it hits home, really hits home the kind of person you want to be, the kind of father you want to be. So from that side, it's been quite good, lots of memories. But in terms of, I guess, the grief, and I guess we'll keep working through that, speaking to as many people, meeting you today, but others, so many people have similar stories, and I think I know them telling about how they've kind of dealt with it and gone through it certainly helped me kind of rationalise it. So if I can help some other people down the track by speaking about it, potentially I will.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because I mean, when I did speak about it, and people came up to me and said, "Oh, thanks for speaking," because they have a story as well. You sit there sometimes and think, wow, how many people do I know who are going through something really huge in their life and impactful in their life that just don't speak? And we never know. We could be in a change room. You're probably in a change room with so many guys that are going through different things, but don't have the strength or maybe the bravery, or haven't seen somebody speaking. So I think the role you're going to play in that sense is powerful, man.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Like, I've been really bad in the past. A couple of mates have gone through similar things, and just not knowing that it's going on, or not being there to talk about it.
Same as me, yeah.
So yeah, now going through it, you do realise just how hard it is, and unfortunately how common it can be. So something to kind of keep working through, and hopefully can help some others. Continuing
on the family theme and lightening things up a little bit, I'm sure we both would enjoy that. I looked at your We Are 8 profile, and it says you're a pretend farmer. Can you just talk me through that, please?
Well, I've got like a small little farm, me and my wife, and it's a bit of a running joke because I live by the beach, and I try and play off that I'm a country boy, but pretty much a city boy. So all the cricket teammates have a go at me. I've got a few cows there. My wife's named them all, so they're never leaving the farm. But I like going trying to fix a fence. It takes me a day to fix like one wire. I'm terrible at it, but it's good fun.
Oh, good. You talked about your earlier life being a city boy when you was younger. What elements in that upbringing have you taken into your professional career that's helped you become the player you are, the leader that you are?
Again, I think being part of a big family's helped. Like, I've got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and if you start getting too big for your boots, you know about it pretty quickly. Yeah, exactly, willing to cut you down. So I think just, like, we never took anything too seriously. Sport was always played because it was fun, and like definitely competitive, like trying to always beat my older brothers, but
where was you in the order?
I'm the youngest, so 2 older brothers.
Oh wow, so you was always playing catch up?
Yeah, exactly. But there was no handicaps, it's like always trying to compete. And then as soon as it wasn't fun, you're doing it wrong. So I've always tried to hang on to that, even now, just trying to find a bit of balance between kind of cricket and normal life. And if cricket's becoming too stressful or too much, like, I'm probably just taking it a bit too seriously.
What do you do? How do you step back? Because I had this problem of I really wanted to be great, and I was so intense. And I used to have this, like, if I take my foot off the pedal a little bit, although I know I need to, I might not be able to still be great. And I had that, that was always the battle in my mind. Yeah,
I found that, especially a few years ago, like when cricket's basically 12 months of the year, there's always a cricket game going somewhere. And I played non-stop for a year or two. This is about 4 or 5 years ago, kind of just came back from injuries. And I was just spent, like, burnt out. And I just remember thinking, geez, I'm 25 here, but I want to do this till I'm 35. Like, I've got to find a way to balance all these different things. So yeah, just stepping away, like spending time with family, friends, going to the farm, getting a coffee down at Bondi Beach. Yeah, farm again. Yeah, just different interests, like did a uni degree. Those things I find give me energy, so when I go and play cricket, I can switch on a bit more.
You're the captain of the Australian cricket team. Was that always like it was your destiny to be that, or was you a born leader, or is that a role you've grown into over the years?
Definitely not like earmarked at all. So I played my first game for Australia when I was 18. So I've always kind of been the youngest guy in the team, and being a fast bowler in cricket, kind of rarely are captains. So I never really even thought of it until a few years ago. Became vice captain, and yeah, it's kind of just grown from there a little bit. So you know, it's something I enjoy doing. Again, the team at the moment, lots of guys I've played with for 10 plus years. They're all really good mates. So it's been fun.
What type of leader are you? Like, are you a shouter? Are you a grab someone, or are you a lead by example? Or
I'm pretty chilled, I think. Yeah, you won't see me shouting too much. Try and collaborate a bit. Like, cricket's a very individualised sport as well. Like, there's only 2 batters out there at a time, one bowler bowling. Yeah. So you just try and hopefully empower each person to kind of be themselves, do it their own way. And yeah, I don't know all the answers. Just trying to hopefully bring everyone together. Interesting
you mentioned that. I'm not from a team sport where there's 22 guys on the pitch, 11 of my teammates on the pitch. You just said there, sometimes as a bowler you're on your own out there sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, what's that feeling like, being out there on your own, like, with that responsibility?
Yeah, well, it's either terrifying or it's awesome. Like, it depends how your mindset is. And I think that's when a team's really clicking well and you feel like you got the backing of your teammates. You're at the top of your mark and you want the ball, you want to be the guy that's going to take on the game, be brave. You know that if it doesn't come off, who cares? The guys are all in. Or the flip side of, could be terrifying. You feel like you're one, ball away from stuffing up everything. So again, hopefully create the environment where you want to be the guy that grabs the ball and wins the game.
We know that in sport, nothing's ever rosy for 24 hours, 365 days a year. There can be bumps in the road. When those bumps in the road or a downturn in confidence come, where do you go? Where does Pat Cummins go for that little bit of advice or steering in the right direction?
Yeah, a few different areas. Again, like teammates, coaches, I got a huge amount of trust in them, so I'd hope they'd kind of give me pretty good advice and pretty honest. And now, I think it's my 12th or 13th season, there's a lot of games I can look back on and draw confidence off. Family, like just realising when cricket's not going well, we've had a bad game and the world feels like it's going to end, you go and hang out with family or friends and they don't even watch the game or know what's going on. Like, that always helps me.
And also, what do you do to relax? Because I know how intense it can be. In my world, it was really intense, and I needed stuff to do off the pitch, and I chose a business or a foundation, something that had purpose. What do you do to get that release?
Yeah, a few of those things, like, a couple of different charities look after. Cricket for Climate said, India Kindies, another one me and my wife look after. A few different business interests, like did a business degree at uni and find the startup world really interesting. It's got a couple of businesses. Okay. Yeah, I know you're similar,
Yeah, so you invest in startups and stuff like that?
Yeah, a few startups. Mixed success, which is plenty of lessons.
That's part of the course, that, isn't it?
Exactly, so you learn a few lessons along the way.
I find this crazy, right? But we're from an industry where, and sport is very much like success driven. If you're not successful, you look down your nose at it a little bit, and it's like, right, that's not the way to go. I've kind of come to realise that investing in tech, you've kind of got to accept losses. So it's a big shift in mindset, huh?
Yeah, no, big time. And you're speaking of like venture startups, they invest in 15, 20 companies and they're like, oh, we know, only 3 are going to make it through, and that mindset's so different. Like, imagine starting a season going, oh, we know we're going to have 3 wins, but they're going to be great wins. Like,
doesn't make sense.
It's so different. So I find that it's just, lots of good energy around that space, and so different to cricket. So draw a lot of inspiration from there. Yeah,
me the same. How do you stay connected to people in your life that mean something? I think, like you mentioned earlier about finding balance.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to find that. I never really found it in my career. I'm trying to find it now in my life after football.
Yeah.
How have you managed to do that, if you have?
It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
Again, to be honest, being in a team where a lot of them are best mates kind of helps.
That's lucky, man. You're lucky.
We're so lucky. So when we go on tour, it feels like we get enough mate time. Hanging out dinner every night. So sometimes when I come home, I can just feel like I spend more family time, and FaceTime's great now. FaceTime home constantly. They can't be on the road.
It's difficult though when you got from Australia to England though. Like, I'm finding that now. My missus is going to bed and I'm just waking up.
Yeah.
Type thing. It's crazy.
You're first thing in the morning or last thing at night. If you miss those windows, you can go days without speaking to them. So also, I always kind of have to remind myself it's not forever. Like, there will be a day where I won't be missing all the weddings or Christmases and stuff. Love my job, so it's not ideal, but it's part of it.
It's important to love your job and love what you're doing. I definitely agree with that. Listen, I've seen a bag down by your right foot. We always ask our guests to bring something. it's not a gift for me, but what is the, what's inside the bag?
That's a bigger one, yeah. I was trying to think of sentimental things, and I must confess I'm not a very sentimental person, so I was thinking in the house, you know, what's important to me. So I bought it's a kid's book, but this is my son, Albie, who's 18 months old. It's his favourite kid's book. So it's birds, and it's from England as well, so you'll recognise these birds, hopefully. He absolutely loves this book. He grabs it from the bookshelf, and actually just before Mum passed away, this was his favourite book, and this was the book Mum read to him.
Oh, wow.
Kind of the last time Albie saw it. So really special for me. My wife bought it as well, so my wife, Albie, Mum.
Huge connection. Brings
us all together, so it's got a little...
Oh, lovely. Oh, good man. Sentimental, that's a huge sentiment there.
And the best thing is he'll sit down and play with this, and I go and make myself a coffee.
You get a bit of free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So
that's a winner in all aspects.
Bird book.
Brilliant. Well, listen, man, Pat, thank you very much. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Cheers, Rio.
And good luck. Not too much luck in the Ashes, but good luck. All right.
We'll get you in soccer warm-up. You're on my team.
Okay, cool. I'm there.